get you with. And I'm shooting shit like Scorsese. Get you whacked, ain't nobody made me. I'm the godfather of this shit, godfather. And you ain't gon' sell me like a bitch. Godfather. Coleon. Shoot. Like Scorsese. Ain't nobody made me. I ain't no bitch.
Welcome back to Championship Rounds. Of course, it's your boy Marcel Pierre per usual. It's been a while, I get that, but I thought this was the perfect time to come back and pay my respects, so to speak. Got a little bit to talk about, and I'm going to knock it out real quick. But while you're here, I appreciate you showing up. I appreciate you hitting that so you can watch and listen or what have you. Make sure to hit that subscribe button, okay? And while you're at it, go ahead and hit that like button. And you know what? Go ahead and ring the damn bell so every time your boy comes on here, you know, you're alerted. You get those alerts, those notifications, if you will. So without further ado, like I said, I'm just going to jump right into it and say that Alexander Volkanovski never was the pound-for-pound best. He never was the featherweight GOAT. And the fans are letting him have it at this point. The fans are fickle. They're fickle like that girl that you thought loved you but left you in the middle of the night. You know what I mean? They were banging the drum saying Alexander Volkanovski is pound for pound number one. He's the featherweight GOAT. But then after he suffers defeat to Islam Makhachev and now Ilia Topuria, what are they saying? Oh, he should retire. He should hang it up. He's done. He's washed. We don't want to see this anymore. Just like that girl you thought loved you. You know what I mean? You're not performing the way that she expects you to perform, and Volkanovski wasn't performing the way the fans expected him to perform, and they quickly showed him ain't no love in the heart of the city, ain't no love in the heart of town. What have you done for me lately? Well, 2 straight knockout losses isn't doing a lot for the fans lately. And you know what? They're always looking for the next best thing. So I got a bone to pick. I'm so tired of people putting the next guy as the GOAT because they get a few title defenses and a lot of fanfare. You know, they're the GOAT. No, they're not the GOAT. Who is the legitimate featherweight GOAT? Well, it's not even close in my opinion. It's Jose Aldo. And I know what you guys are saying. Oh, well, Max beat Jose twice. Volk beat Jose. What version of Jose did they beat? Did they beat the GOATed Jose? No, they did not. No, they didn't. They beat a Jose that had already lost his aura of invincibility when he was sparked out quickly by Conor McGregor. Okay? They didn't even beat the Jose Aldo that defeated Frankie Edgar again at UFC 200. No, they defeated a diminished version of him. And that's why he went down in weight. 135. These guys are going up in weight. 155. It matters. Okay? Nobody has the resume at that weight class that Jose has. Just because these guys come in, Volkanovski, whom isn't a finisher, might I add. Max Holloway, much respect. Love to see him fight. But they just simply haven't done the things that Jose has done. Numbers don't lie. You can't just leapfrog a guy just because, oh, we like you. Oh, we like you. You're the GOAT. You've been here. No, you're not the GOAT. Jose Aldo Jr. is the fucking GOAT. Undefeated for almost fucking 10 years. Did you see what he did in the WEC? Do you see what he did when he came into the UFC? Mendez, Hominick, Edgar. Like, I don't have to go on and on. Chan Sung Jung, like he hurt himself, whatever. Jose Aldo is the GOAT at 145 pounds, and Volkanovski didn't get there. Max Holloway didn't get there. They all suffered defeat before they were able to meet or best Jose Aldo's numbers. So they don't just get to leapfrog him by default. Hell no. Hell no. Jose Aldo's the GOAT. And that's the last time I'm going to say it because I really don't. I mean, it's common knowledge. I don't really need to keep saying it. All right. Then the next featherweight, Ilia Topuria, undefeated. We'll see what he does. He gets a few title defenses. They're going to be like, oh, he beat Volkanovski. He's the GOAT now. No, he's not. Best Jose Aldo. And then we'll start talking about GOATs. In addition to that, again, Volkanovski was never pound for pound number one. And I said that from the beginning, okay? He did really great at 145 pounds, did great at featherweight. But when he moved up to 155 pounds and he did not defeat Islam Makhachev, people still wanted to rank him as number one. They said, oh, well, he did really well. He did so well. We can't move him down. We can't move him down. I thought that was really disrespectful to Islam Makhachev. He beat the guy. He beat the guy. How do you still have this guy ranked above him pound for pound? Well, when Volkanovski came in on short notice after Charles Oliveira backed out, Islam Makhachev dispatched his ass quick. And now that's why the fans are saying, oh, well, two knockout losses in a row. It's time for this guy to hang it up. But would they be saying that if Islam Makhachev didn't do to Volkanovski what he did, and Volk's just got this loss to Topuria, they'd be banging the drum for a rematch. But for some reason, nobody wants to see that. Can you believe that? This guy was the GOAT. They say the GOAT. Now nobody even wants to see him get a rematch. I tell you what, when Aldo lost to Conor McGregor, every Aldo fan supporter wanted him to have that fucking rematch. He didn't get it, but they wanted him to have it. See how different that is? How different that is? Volkanovski loses. They're saying, oh, man, he needs to retire. He needs to go and hang it up. We don't want to see him flatlined again, all right? And I don't want to either. See, make sure. Okay. I don't want to either. What else do we got here? Ilia Topuria. Just, you know what I mean? I wouldn't say he shocked the world because, surprise, even though Volkanovski was, touted as the GOAT at 145 pounds, even though Aldo is, they wanted to say, you know what I mean? He's the Alexander the Great, you know what I mean? So, crazy thing is, a lot of people predicted Ilia Topuria to get it done. The dreaded 35 rule or whatever it is that Luke Thomas always talks about. Well, funny thing is that not long ago when Ilia was on his way up, he had a little dust up with one Paddy Pimblett. I don't know where it was at. It was at a hotel, a hallway, something. Dealt with some water bottles, some bull crap. Anyways, Paddy had this to say. He took to his social media. He said, oh my God, your banter is as bad as your fights. Don't worry, mate. I'll climb right above you in the rankings after about 2 fights because people actually want to see me fight. You're a nobody and will continue to be a nobody. While I get shit done, you will stay on the prelims while I'm on the main card. Well, that was not something that aged well. As it sits today, Ilia Topuria is the featherweight champion, and Paddy Pimblett looked really green against Jared Gordon and barely limped his way into a victory with Tony Ferguson. Who knows what would have happened if Paddy didn't score that late takedown against El Kukui. He was clearly gassed. So, that being said, obviously Paddy's words did not materialize. These guys aren't in the same weight class, but hell, if they met, I hope Paddy could get him down being the bigger man. But how much bigger is he? I mean, they're separated by 10 pounds. As I mentioned, everybody wants to say, oh, Max is the featherweight GOAT. Volk is the featherweight GOAT. Put a couple title defenses on Topuria, they'll probably be saying it. But the thing of the matter is that Aldo's the GOAT. And when it was all said and done, Aldo went down in weight to bantamweight, and everybody else went up in weight to lightweight. So take that for what it's worth. We will likely never see Ilia Topuria versus Paddy the Baddy Pimblett, but it's still cool to speculate. It's still fun to try to predict just what or how that match would have played out. Either Paddy was going to get him down, control position, do the Baddy thing, or Topuria was going to strangle him or separate him from consciousness with his tremendous power in his hands. Moving along. Topuria didn't shock the world, but he did defeat Alexander Volkanovski. He did separate him from consciousness, and now everybody wants to know what's next. Is it the rematch with Volkanovski? Not a lot of people want to see it. Volk's calling for it. Ilia said that, if that's the one that makes sense, okay. If not, all right. But who'd he call out? Conor McGregor. Yeah, Ilia said that if Conor's got any balls left, he'll meet him in Spain. Well, that's just hilarious to me because the whole build-up to this fight, he was channeling his inner Conor McGregor, and it was cringe. Oh, it was cringe as hell. He already has eerily same tattoo placement on his spine, his upper back, his chest work. I mean, the guy's got some great ink. I ain't shitting on it. Have you seen Ilia Topuria's ink? The wolves and everything. It's dope. It's top tier ink. I would even go as far to say that it's better ink than McGregor's ink. But still, it's very, very similar to the placement of Conor McGregor. He's saying a lot of Conor McGregor things at the press conference. He's grabbing the belt from Volkanovski and holding it up, which was probably the most cringe thing he did in the whole buildup. Notice when Conor McGregor did that, there was a whole world tour. The fans were going wild. Conor grabs the belt from Jose. He, in the air, and gets a big reaction from Jose Aldo, too. The moment was there. But when Topuria did it, it was like everything happened in slow motion, and he kind of looked silly and like a dweeb when he was holding, like, you know what I mean? Like, and then Volk didn't really give a big reaction. The fans didn't really pop. None of that matters because he got in there and he got the job done, okay? He got the job done. He finished Volkanovski, and nobody can take that away from the kid. But who's he fight next? Does he fight Volk in the rematch? Not a lot of people want to see it. Everybody's banging the drum for Max Holloway. Everybody wants to see that. They don't see Max Holloway getting knocked out. Max Holloway don't get knocked out. It'd be interesting to see that fight. I want to see that fight. Or there's Movsar Iliev, also undefeated. Topuria had something to say about Iliev, and if I'm mispronouncing his name, I give you my my apologies. But what exactly did Ilia Topuria have to say about Movsar Evlioev? I think I said that right. Either way, this is what Ilia had to say. He said, I would love to fight him, but the guy has 8 fights in the UFC, 8 decisions, 0 submissions, 0 knockouts. He needs to finish someone. Well, Movsar gave the only response he could have gave. Topuria, the champion, saying, hey, all of your wins are by decision. You need to finish somebody. Movsar came out there via X, if you will, formerly Twitter, and said the only thing he could say, probably the only thing that would materialize. He said, and I quote, Ilia, I'll beat you by decision too. Now that's not like the most exciting thing to say to somebody. Like nobody goes like, oh, I can't wait to get in there and beat you by decision. I can't wait to outpoint you. But when a guy's trying to shit on you saying, oh, well, you don't got no submissions, you don't got no knockouts, it's all decision, you go, yeah, I'd beat you by decision too. That makes sense. That was a great comeback in my opinion. I fuck with that. That being said, is that a fight I want to see? It is. It's undefeated versus undefeated. Does it get better than that? Somebody's O has got to go, and I'll be interested to see whose it would be. So who do you got? Do you got Ilia Topuria, who's got the hands, he's got the submission, or do you got Movsar, who, yes, has won all of his fights via decision, but he's looked tremendous in each one of them. Like, it's not like these guys are really giving him a run. I mean, that is a fight I do want to see, because if Movsar if he is able to impose his will a little bit, Ilia Topuria, he might be in trouble. Hell, he might be the only one. He might be the first finish by Movsar. Who knows? They got to get in the cage. Or the Ilia train could keep rolling right through Ivlioev town. That could also happen. That being said, I'm here for it. I want to see it. Okay? Aside from that, Conor McGregor is not fighting is not fighting Ilia Topuria. Conor McGregor is not fighting Ilia Topuria. He's not cutting down to 145 pounds. He's not fighting him without a belt on the line. You name it. So that call out was worthless, in my opinion. He's calling out something that just simply ain't going to happen. Case in point. Henry Cejudo, Triple C, the king of cringe, the Olympic gold medalist, the self-proclaimed greatest combat athlete of all time. His ass should have stayed retired. Yeah, he won 2 belts, defended his defended his flyweight belt against TJ Dillashaw, knocked his ass out. Then he went up to bantamweight and knocked out Dom Cruz. Well, he defended against Dom Cruz. He won the belt against Magic Marlon Moraes, if memory serves me correctly. So this man won 2 belts in 2 different weight classes, defeated Demetrius Johnson, even though it was controversial. This man defended both of the belts that he won, flyweight, bantamweight, has the gold medal for the Olympics, and walked away. And now that he's come back, he's suffered defeat twice to teammates, Aljamain Sterling and his teammate Merab Dvalishvili. Doesn't matter. You guys know Merab. Anyways, if he would have stayed away, no tarnish, no nothing. Everybody would still be speculating what if. And they'd have him in a lot higher regard than they do now. Now that we've already seen him get defeated twice and look old. You know, he looked really good in the first round against Merab. But when the second round came, when the third round came, that was all Dvalishvili. All Merab. Okay, so I don't know. Does he want to stick around and just be another name on somebody's resume? He got paid $150K for this fight. Crazy. The man's held 2 division titles, and he defended both of them, and he comes back and you guys are paying him $150K. Crazy. Well, Dana White had something to say about how they didn't give Henry the microphone after the fight, and I agree. Henry's already defeated Dominic Cruz and decided to retire, vacate the belts. You know what I mean? Dana said this is Merab's moment. Okay? Henry, he didn't say these words, but Henry can retire on his social media platform. He's already retired on us once. You know what I mean? This is Merab's moment, not Henry's. I agree with that. But my opinion, Henry Cejudo didn't have shit else to prove. He came back for big fights, and based on his last performance, not exactly big money. Only $150K that he was paid to face Merab Dvalishvili in a 3-round showdown. That's not exactly Triple C, former double champ money, is it? No. The main event of UFC 300 has been announced, and no, it's not Weili Zhang against Yan Xiaonan. It is Alexander Poatan versus former light heavyweight champion Jamal Hill. Well, although this card is stacked to the brim, and I'm going to get to that, I really don't see this as a UFC 300 headliner. I mean, you got a guy facing another guy that had to walk through hell to beat his coach. I'm talking about Glover Teixeira. Jamal Hill had to walk through the depths of hell and joust with the devil himself to defeat Glover Teixeira's old ass. And Glover Teixeira's old as hell. He's so old that was his last fight. He's done. He's retired. So that being said, now you put him in there with Poatan, who dispatched of Sean Strickland in no time. You put him in there with Poatan, who defeated the likes of Jiri Prochazka devastatingly. I mean, if you put Jiri Prochazka in there with Jamal Hill, I'd give Jamal Hill more of a shot, just on the grounds that Jiri gets hit way too much. But when you got a guy that is a striking aficionado like Poatan, and you put him in there with somebody like Jamal Hill, yeah, he's dangerous. He's a fighter. He's shown that, you know, he's got skill. Are his kicks elite? No. Is he one-dimensional? I believe so. I don't think he's going to get in there and be able to wrestle Poatan. I don't think he has the jiu-jitsu in his I don't think he's got jiu-jitsu in his tool belt. Like, I just don't. I think that not only does Poatan have more tools in his tool belt to win this fight, he's just flat out a better fighter. And that's going to show come fight night. I don't see this going the distance. So please, I mean, I'm going to put bread on Poatan to win by KO or TKO. This is a different level of striking than what Jamal Hill has ever faced. And honestly, like I said, if Jamal Hill faced Jiri Prochazka, I'd give him a better shot just because he's got power and Jiri gets hit a lot. But man, he'd be in trouble in that fight too. You saw what Jiri Prochazka did to, who was it? Dominic Reyes. You saw what Jiri Prochazka did to what's his name? No time. Volkan Ozdemir. I think this fight is more dangerous than the Jiri fight. I think Poatan is going to separate this guy from consciousness and defend his light heavyweight title, and then everybody's going to be like, what's next? What's next? Jamal Hill's been looking like a pot-bellied pig lately. Have you seen the shots? And this guy's going to get in there and defeat one Poatan, whom defeated Sean Strickland and Israel Adesanya on several occasions? I think not. I think not. You know, Jamal Hill may talk a good game. I just don't think this is the smoke he wants. But it is a title fight. He never lost his belt. Headlining UFC 300. Historic. I see why he signed on the dotted line. Hey, believe in yourself, Jamal Hill. You clearly do. I don't. I believe in you as a person, as a man, as a fighter, but I don't believe in you in this fight. I think you're getting beat. I think you're getting stopped. Just saying. That's where my money will be. Dricus du Plessis. This shit's getting out of hand. You know, at the start, I was like, okay, cultural. But now at this point, I'm tired of watching this man make out with other men. Okay? And it even goes further than that. Okay? If you want to kiss your trainer before the fight, you want to kiss him after the fight, you want to kiss him, before the belt gets put on you, kiss him all you want, bro. But this is going to the next level. Now you got these guys grabbing each other's genitalia. Okay? So this went from cultural to homosexual. And it's all right. If you want to be homosexual, that's fine. But, you know what I mean? I don't want to see this shit when I'm watching fights. I don't want to see two men making out. And I definitely don't want to see another man tugging at another man's dick and balls. Because there's no place in this sport for that. Okay? So if people want to make their jokes and be like, Dricus du Plessis is the #1 African champion, because he's white from South Africa, and, all the other champions were black like most Africans are. And want to joke. This is, and I'm trying to be politically correct here. I'm going to say there's been a lot of homosexual activity around this guy. And like I said, if that's his flavor, that's his flavor. But, you know what I mean? I don't want to see it. I don't. When Derek Lewis hops in the cage and he's on the mic and they say, hey, Derek, what you going to do in here? What you going to do after your win? Then he say, I might go home and throw my wife's legs in there. Or Brock Lesnar goes, I might climb on top of my wife. See y'all later. That's different than him actually in the cage making out with his wife. That's different from him actually in the cage and his wife tugging at his... This is his trainer we're talking about. His trainers, his sparring partners, what have you, his teammates. I'm just tired of seeing these guys make out. And really, I was just, okay, cultural. That was my stance on it. But when I saw these guys grabbing at their dick and balls, I gotta put my foot down somewhere. Okay? I don't want to see this shit. So, that being said, okay, they were like, oh, well, he was just checking to see if he's got his cup in. Mid-fight, you're checking to see if he's got his cup? No, bro. No. So, anyways, I don't want to see it anymore. I'm rooting for anybody to beat Drickus. Former champ EFC, fine. I'm rooting for anybody to beat Drickus. And honestly, if he defeats his next fight, if he defeats his next opponent, Drickus, he'll probably be looking to move up and become a champ like he was in the EFC. Okay? Middleweight. In middleweight, a motherfucker right now. You got Poatan who just went up. I think Sean Strickland deserves a rematch, but that's just me. I had him winning that fight. Either way, don't want to see it anymore, but if Drickus gets it done, look for him to be the next one to want to become a champ like he was previously. A lot of people throwing the GOAT shit out there. Sean O'Malley had something to say about Ilia Topuria and what he did. Knocked out Volkanovski in the second round. He came out there and said, oh, he knocked out the featherweight GOAT in the second round, and I knocked out the bantamweight GOAT in the second round. Wrong! Aljamain Sterling, love you. Love the Funk Master. Definitely a fan. Not the GOAT. Not the GOAT. Definitely not the GOAT. The bantamweight GOAT has to be either Dominic Cruz or TJ Dillashaw. I lean toward Dominic Cruz because he's the clean fighter. So he came back after long injury and got his belt back. Yeah, he lost to Garbrandt. I get that. But he got his belt back. So, like, he's the clean fighter. He had a illustrious career. Yeah, he's got to be the bantamweight GOAT. How is Aljamain Sterling the GOAT? Yeah, I love Aljamain Sterling, but you're not the bantamweight GOAT. The bantamweight GOAT is Dominic Cruz. Like I said, this is recency bias. Numbers don't lie. I go with the numbers. Again, O'Malley said that he knocked out the bantamweight GOAT. He ain't the GOAT. Aljamain Sterling ain't the GOAT, and Volkanovski ain't the GOAT at 45. It's Aldo. Recency bias. Do you guys agree or disagree? Who is your bantamweight GOAT? Who is your featherweight GOAT? Because to me, it is Dominic Cruz or TJ Dillashaw. You choose. In the featherweight, it's got to be Aldo because nobody's done what he's done. Till this day, nobody's done what Jose Aldo Jr. has done at featherweight. Hate it or love it. John Jones. Johnny Bones Jones. A lot of people coming out there saying, oh, well, why won't he just sign on the dotted line to fight Tom Aspinall? Why the hell does he need to? Guys, keep in mind that Sergey Pavlovich was the guy that everybody was talking about. He was the guy that everybody was saying is next up. He's the most dangerous. He's this and that. He's A, B, and C. But after he fights Tom Aspinall, now everybody's saying, well, Tom's the guy. Tom is the guy. What does that mean for John? John has been fighting Hall of Famers and champions for years, and nobody has defeated him. He came up to heavyweight and made it look so damn easy. A caveman could do it. And now Tom's supposed to be the next scariest thing because he beat a guy in Sergey Pavlovich that an old Alistair Overeem already dispatched and finished? I'm not. I mean, I'm impressed. I am impressed. The fight, I respect him for getting in there. But Tom ain't did nothing that hadn't already been done. And if John Jones went in there and did it, you guys wouldn't be surprised. You'd be like, well, this is John Jones. It's John Jones. And if John Jones gets in there and does that eventually to Tom Aspinall, you guys will be the same way. Well, it's John Jones. We expect that. But we want to see it. Hell, I want to see it. But I don't care. Like, John Jones is already the GOAT. Think about this, guys. John Jones has been called the GOAT well before he was ever done with 100 or with 205, I mean. John Jones, they were already calling John Jones the greatest of all time before he was even close to being done with 205 pounds. Now, he's gotten done with 205 pounds. He's moved up to heavyweight. He dispatched Cyril Gane. People are still calling him the GOAT, even though they have already for years. And now people want to say, oh, well, Tom. Put Tom Aspinall in there with Gelton Almeida. That's what I want to see. I want to see Gelton Almeida versus Tom Aspinall. John Jones has likely got one fight and he's done. He wants a legacy fight against Stipe Miocic. And if anybody deserves to call their shot and get their fight, it's him. Nobody was talking shit when Georges St. Pierre won the belt off of Michael Bisping. He won the belt off of Michael Bisping, right? And then he did not defend against Robert Whittaker. He didn't. He vacated. He retired it. And then we can go even further. Go back to when Bisping won the belt against Luke Rockhold. Did he defend the belt against Yoel Romero? No. Robert Whittaker? No. He called his own shot because he deserved it. He paid his dues. He's been in the promotion for so long. He called out Dan Henderson. And even though I thought Dan Henderson won that night, he got one back because at UFC 100, Dan Henderson made a logo of his ass. A logo. But he got it back. So I'm saying if anybody deserves to call their shot and get their fight, it's Johnny Bones Jones. I ain't trying to hear the other shit about Tom Aspinall. I'm not. Because at the end of the day, Tom hasn't even came close to doing what John has. And who knows if he ever will. Who knows, even when John's gone, who knows if Tom will even be the champion. Yes, he's the interim champion right now. Interim. Colby Covington was interim. Carlos Condit was interim. Tony Ferguson was, you get what I'm saying? Like, what does that really mean? Yeah, you've got a piece of the belt a la Dustin Poirier, but are you going to hold the undisputed title? Because when John Jones ultimately retires, I think there's going to be two guys there, and it's going to be Jailton Almeida, Tom Aspinall. Who gets it done? I'll let you guys speculate. Let's just quickly break down UFC 300, okay? There was a lot of fantasy fights being teased, none of which materialized. So let's break it down from fight one to fight done, the main event. And we're going to start with Davison Figueiredo versus Cody No Chin Garbrandt. Yeah, there's no love and there's no chin. Figueiredo's looking great, moving up a weight class. The power translates. I see him putting him away. I see him putting Garbrandt away. Then you got Rodriguez versus Andrade. That's a good fight. That's a good strawweight fight. I'm not gonna crap on it. You got Jim Miller versus Bobby King Green. Another good fight there. Jim Miller is in historic placement as far as his wins and matches in the UFC, and Bobby King Green is always entertaining to watch. This fight's on the prelims. You got Kayla Harrison versus Holly Holm. How is Kayla Harrison going to make bantamweight? That is for another time to discuss. But Holly Holm, the perennial top-tier bantamweight herself, will welcome Kayla Harrison into the octagon, and we'll see if she can stay on her feet, because if she does, I think her striking is worlds above Kayla Harrison's. Even though Kayla Harrison is a marauder, she's going to be looking to get that fight to the ground. Sadiq Youssef versus, I think, Diego Lopez. That's a decent fight. UFC 300 level, I'll let you be the judge. That being said, Bo Nickel versus Cody Brundage. Everybody's going to show up to see Bo Nickel, to see if the train keeps running, and it probably will. Okay, we're going over to the main card. Aljamain Sterling is moving up to featherweight, and he's being welcomed by Calvin Kattar, who's got some pretty darn good boxing in his own right. Next fight, you got Alexander Rakic. He's getting in there against Jiri. Okay. Next, you got Alexander Rakic, who's had his fair share of injury, but he's come back. He's looked strong. He's getting in there with Jiri, who's looking to bounce back. Next fight, oh my gosh, Arman Tsarukyan versus Charles Oliveira. These guys, this is a huge fight here. Big fight here. Can't wait to see it. Does Charles Oliveira turn Tsarukyan back, or does Tsarukyan get it done and prove that he's either next in line to face Islam Makhachev, or he's just next in line for the belt in general? We'll see. Does Charles Oliveira keep his spot? Can't wait to see that. Then we got a BMF fight. You got Holloway versus Gaethje. Well, last time Holloway moved up to 155 pounds, didn't go as well. Well, other than the Poirier fight, Gaethje hasn't been looking too great either, but These two mix it up in an all-action fight, I'm sure. Can't wait to see who comes away with that BMF belt. You got a fight that would be humongous in China in Yan Xiaonan versus Weili Zhang. But you know what I mean? The Americans love Weili as well, so I'm sure that this fight will do numbers. I hope to see a proper scrap in this one, a competitive fight, if you will, to see who comes away as the Chinese queen of the UFC. And last but not least, we already discussed the main event, Poatan versus Jamal Hill. Like I said before, Jamal Hill is going to sleep. Bet the bag. I don't give a damn if you say, oh, well, it's a fight. They got to show up and perform. He's going to sleep, so you might as well go ahead. His name is Sweet Dreams. Sweet Dreams. And it will be very, very fitting at UFC 300. Guys, thanks for tuning in. Again, like, share, comment, subscribe. Championship rounds going to look to come back soon. Hey, until next time, stay frosty.